years ago, Hodinkee collaborated with IWC to release a limited edition Mark XVIII, as shown here. Before I go any further, I'd like to give a brief history on the original watch that inspired this one. During World War II, IWC produced two historically significant pilot watches. The one on the left is the BR, which was produced for the German Air Force, and the one on the right is the Mark XI, which was produced for the British Air Force. Between the late 90s and the early 2000s, IWC reintroduced both models, the BR as the big pilot on the left, and the Mark XI as the Mark XII on the right. On the left, you can see the Mark XII and the Mark XV that came after it. They were clearly inspired by the Mark XI, as you see here. But after that, things got a bit strange. Now, my theory is that the big pilot ended up being a lot more popular than the Mark series. So from Mark XVI onward, they started using a big pilot or BR handset and 12-hour marker. And they were still putting it in essence, a Mark style case. Now with that history out of the way, let's get back to the Hodinkee Mark XVIII. After seeing the trends, you can tell that with this special edition, they got rid of the big pilot inspired handset and dial, and they put a Mark XI handset and dial in there. And that was sort of the main big deal. The other thing was that the case was titanium and coated with ceramic. Now there's a third component to it, but opinions vary on that one, and that is they used superluminova and they colored it to resemble aged vintage tritium paint. The thing with this kind of coloring is it's never going to change. So the way it looks when it's new is the way it's always going to look unless it gets water damaged. Now this got me thinking about the unloved IWC Mark XII. It wasn't even mentioned on the Hodinkee sales page as an inspiration, where instead they mentioned the chrono version. In my opinion, it's a much better value because it's closer in lineage to the Mark XI, and you can also find it in both tritium and superluminova dial varieties. And most importantly, it has a wonderful JLC 889 high-end movement in it as compared to the very basic Sellita SW300 that the Hodinkee version has. In my mind, I just don't see the comparison working at all. I think this one is just so much better of a value. But, of course, that is just my opinion. Well, anyway, that's about it for this video, and as usual, thanks for watching.